a 1, a 2.
This is for the musical montage.
And Kirsten.
No, you were in her way. Stop.
I wasn't in her way.
My job was to supervise from a distance. In other words, stay out of the way. This was a creation of my mother's in the 30s. We didn't have a lot of money and we didn't have a lot of extra food around, and we would have routines. And the one routine was to cook brown rice and milk on Saturday, with enough left over for meals to follow. And one of the things that she did was make waffles for Sunday night, and she would put the rice in the waffles, and it made them substantially different, and for those of us who liked them, substantially better.
This is a recipe for what we call a single batch of waffles. 3/4 of a cup of cooked rice, 3 eggs separated, 7 tablespoons of oil, 4 tablespoons of sugar, a half a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 of a cup of white flour, 1/4 of a cup of cornmeal, 1/2 a cup of whole wheat flour, and 1 to 1 1/2 cups of milk. Single batch of waffles, if there's more than one person here, is completely inadequate, woefully inadequate. So we're going to do a 4 times recipe so that there will be plenty of waffles for us, and we welcome you to come and join us. Unless you're a creep.
Alright, so this step is what?
This is preparing the rice. The rice has been cooked and has been chilled. Actually, you can use leftover rice, as long as you haven't put any soy sauce on it. Then you put it into a cooking pan, a little milk, nummy, 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 nummy. And we add cinnamon, cinnamon.
Where'd the cinnamon go? It's already left together.
We're getting the cinnamon now. And brown sugar. Nice amount of brown sugar to taste. Okay, a little cinnamon, just dump it in. A lot of cinnamon to taste. Okay, then I'm going to the oven. I'm going to heat it up till it's sort of soupy and yummy. Well, not too soupy, but moist and fluffy. Moist and fluffy would be the correct term.
Or are you going to do it?
And although I am a scientist by profession, this is not time for science. This is time for taste buds.
When we went to Grandpa Vic's to have waffles, he had a large boysenberry bush. One of the things he made was boysenberry syrup. We now get the Knott's Berry Farm boysenberry preserves, and we take this and we dump a bunch of it into a pan, and then we take some water, because we're going to thin it down a bit, but we're going to ruin this a little bit with some lemon to give it a little tang, and also to take some of the clarity off of the syrup.
We will heat this up to mix it all around nicely. Okay, now I've got to blend the yumminess. So we take this handy dandy little gizmo and we load it up. Screw it on tightly, push down, and it
Turns it into something much more resembling.
We need a lot of this because we all really love it.
Are we ready for dry ingredients? We're going to put in our flour, which is white flour, whole wheat flour, and cornmeal. Okay, there it all is. Now, we've got sugar. We have baking powder, not to be confused with baking soda. It's baking powder. And we have salt, which is 3 large pinches and a dump. This was Grandpa Victor's, and he would use this to do the following thing that Jade is going to do, which is gently mix all of these things together. Alright, set that aside. Now we have the Gigantormas Grande bowl.
Sí, claro.
And we're going to combine our wet ingredients. What you doing there, Jade?
I am getting the egg whites out of the egg. I'm separating them.
Now, the next thing that we need to do with the eggs, and this is very important, is we need to beat the whites until they're stiff, like meringue, because the egg whites bring lightness and crispiness to the waffle recipe. There we go. Okay, now we'll first combine the wet ingredients into this large bowl, starting with the egg yolks. Now we're going to put in our oil. Oh, we need milk, you guys. Fill her up. I'm going to put in our rice. Just mix it up a little bit here. Needs just that much.
Splash.
And now we shall put in the dry ingredients. We're all blended nicely. I don't use the electric blender for this. Now we're ready for folding in the egg whites without mushing them all down. The point is that you have to sort of feel the batter. The batter has to have some riceage to
Feel
it.
the batter. Feel.
Gotta have a little heft to it.
Feel the batter.
Right, here we go.
Batter.
Okay, Anne, thank you. Now that everything's mixed up, it's time to cook the waffles! Jade, would you do the honors?
I would love to.
All right. These are the, quote, non-stick irons.
Got all that oil in the batter.
They're not going to need to be oiled. They're plenty oiled. Oil them. Oil them. The first waffle oils them. Usually about one big scoop. We'll get it going here. Be sure and scoop down to the bottom where you can get some good rice, which will settle. See all that nice rice in there? All right.
Do not peek.
Especially with these waffles, you do not want to peek.
And he peeked.
What
he
does-
peeked. I saw him peek.
The definition of peeking is to open the waffle iron before you remove the waffle. That's peeking.
Are waffles ready yet?
Look at that.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Did anybody declare the waffles superb?
Yeah! Super!
Oh, was that said as a peer pressure or is that the truth?
It's the truth.
Well, one around here will never know it.
Now I want to get real close so you can hear this sound. Quiet. You hear that little crunch? It has a little crispness on the outside. Has the wonderful flavor of the rice on the inside. Waffles are on.
And the wise man
Unlike my sister, I do actually wash as I go.
look up in the sky, he's holding his head.
Beg your pardon, I wash as I go.
Anything turn up,
I wash and clean as I go.
fine, holding his head up,
We do not just yell and scream.
setting the sights on that other side.
We need to
Fire up the waffle irons. Wait,
I said
cut.
makers.
Heart of honey and a head of river stone, holding her head up.
Didn't wash that one.
Anything turn up, that suits her fine, holding her head up, walking that line, setting her sights on